The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Child Nutrition Division for our first webinar out of a series of 6. So my name is Colleen Fillmore, and I'm the Idaho Director for Child Nutrition. And today's webinar is to share the most recent CMP information from USDA concerning the COVID-19. Information from USDA is changing daily, so please continue to check the governor's website. This website can be seen on the screen at this time. We have scheduled these webinars for 6 weeks, today being the first, and we certainly will go beyond the 6 weeks if needs be. Today on the webinar, I have the entire CMP staff ready to answer your questions. They have been working tirelessly for hours and hours in these last few weeks. If your question that you submit during this webinar has already been asked, we ask that you remove it so we can get to all questions that have not been answered. Once the webinar is done, the questions will be added to our unanticipated closure Q&A file on the governor's website and will also be sent as a broadcast email to all CMP contacts. First, before we start, thank you for your hard work in feeding our children. The superintendent and all of the SDE staff is pushing for maximum flexibility in all areas, including the child nutrition programs. Before reviewing the questions, we want to share some nationwide waivers that have recently been unveiled by USDA. Most recently, we've had several nationwide waivers, and these include all program sections in the child nutrition area, including national school lunch, school breakfast, summer food, and our child and adult care food programs. These waivers at this time include, and we might get more in the future, one that was approved yesterday as a nationwide waiver is for meal requirements. We are required to approve requests on a case-by-case basis and report to USDA when and where the waiver is in effect and for which food components. The second waiver is for non-congregate approved sites may distribute meals to parents or guardians to take home to their children. This is significant. We have had a lot of concern that children have to be there. That's not the case any longer. And then the next 3 waivers were unveiled under the Family First Act of last week. We shared with everyone, and those are the congregate feeding requirements, the service time requirements, and the educational or enrichment activity requirements. So I know I'm going fast, but I want to get to all the questions. And as a reminder, you can find all this information on the governor's website by the close of business today. So with that said, we asked for questions ahead of time, and at this time, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read to you the questions that we received and the answers. These will also be put on the governor's website. Now, don't be concerned if you did not submit a question. We are still taking questions on this webinar, but we might address your question once we go through everything here. Again, if we do address your question and you submit something during this webinar, please take it out so we can answer others. So first question, could you clarify the difference between summer food, seamless summer, and the National School Lunch Program? Under the COVID-19 waivers, the following applies. Summer food service program, if you have operated summer food in the past 2 years, you will only qualify to apply for summer food. Any ages of 1 through 18 may participate. Seamless summer is if you have not operated summer food in the last 2 years, you will only qualify to apply for the seamless. This qualifies any child ages 1 through 18. Then we have the National School Lunch Program. If a school district defines themselves as closed, NSLP cannot operate. Only students enrolled in the school may participate. So, is a thought, summer food or seamless might be your best option, but it's a local decision. Question number 2. Should certain types of people not help prepare and distribute food because they are high risk or someone in their family is high risk? The answer to this is, across the state, several different community members, along with child nutrition staff, volunteers, bus drivers, paraprofessionals, etc., are helping in distributing food to Idaho children. It is a local decision on who serves the food. As far as individuals who are high risk, we recommend following CDC guidance. The next question, what type of protection should we provide to help those distributing food? Answer, we recommend following your HACCP, your food safety plan, contact your local health department, get input from them, and the CDC guidance. And just so you know, we are putting together a best practices in this area, and we'll be unveiling that in the very near future. Next question, can we distribute more than one day's food at a single time? The answer is, unless the SFA has received state agency approval for home delivered meals, the limit is 2 meals. Additional guidance regarding home deliveries will be available soon. Next question. We would like to serve meals Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where we offer breakfast and lunch for Monday and Tuesday on Monday. We think this is the best way to maximize social distancing for children and school staff and minimize labor and transportation costs. Is this a possibility in the future? Answer, please refer to the previous question. Should any additional guidance come from USDA, the state agency will notify you. And just so you know, the additional answer was for the home deliveries, the limit is 2 if you have been approved with the state agency. Okay, next question. What is your guidance on serving kids lunch while we are teaching them online? Answer. Number 1, if you are still operating National School Lunch, you may serve enrolled students at the school in a non-congregate setting. Please refer to the Congregate 19 Child Nutrition Response Number 2. Number 2 of the answer, if you have state agency approval to operate the Seamless Summer, you may continue to serve all children ages 1 through 18 in a non-congregate setting. Number 3 in the answer, if you have state agency approval to operate the Summer Food Program, you may continue to serve all children ages 1 through 18 in a non-congregate setting. Next question. What is your guidance on minimizing contact in groups while serving kids at lunch is their only meal of the day? Answer, SDE recommends following USDA and CDC guidance. Next question. Due to the COVID-19, are nutritional lunch patterns under the Child Nutrition Program flexible, such as the vegetable subgroups, when schools are closed and having to serve grab and go? Or are the full nutritional requirements still required? Answer, the state agency received notification from USDA on March 25th, yesterday, regarding a national waiver to allow meal pattern flexibility in child nutrition programs. The waiver is automatically available to all states that elect to use it. However, the state agency must inform USDA if electing to be subject, if we want to be part of the waiver. The Idaho State Department of Education is supportive of maximum flexibility and will work with the Superintendent of Public Instruction and provide a response as soon as possible to our regional office. The state agency will notify sponsors regarding the election and reporting requirements as outlined in the waiver. Next question. When serving lunch and breakfast to students when schools are closed due to COVID-19, are serving sizes per grade level still in effect, or can you give equal amounts of food for all ages to make preparation easier? Answer, number 1, if you have state agency approval to operate under Seamless Summer, you must use the USDA National School Lunch Meal Pattern. However, as mentioned in question number 7, a meal pattern flexibility waiver was just made available to state agencies. The waiver states that FNS expects and strongly encourages program operators to maintain and meet the nutritional standards for each program to the greatest extent possible. Therefore, do the best with portion sizes and age grade groups. Number 2 of the answer, if you have state agency approval to operate the summer food program, all children receive the same meal and portion size. Do your best. Question 10, during a school closure and feeding grab and go, if a shelter-in-place order is ordered for your community, do you still serve lunch, breakfast during a school closure or stop? Answer, it is not a requirement to serve meals while the school is closed. However, we encourage sponsors to feed children. This is a local decision. Next question, can meals be delivered to bus stops or homes? This would allow bus drivers to be utilized and receive pay. Answer, number 1, if you have an area eligible school, then all bus stops on the normal bus route for this school are qualified for reimbursement. Number 2, in the same answer, if a school is not area eligible, each individual bus stop on the route must be approved as eligible by the state agency. Number 3 of the answer, individual home deliveries require additional state agency approval. Steps and guidance will be available soon. Next question, where do you find the seamless summer application online? Answer, a waiver application and supplemental documents were emailed to food service directors on Monday, March 16th. Once you are approved to operate, your seamless summer site application will be activated in My Idaho CMP shortly after your approval. Next question, can we deliver meals to those underserved students that don't have a way to come to our site? Answer, if children are unable to pick up a meal at a school or alternate feeding site, the SFA may establish bus stops to their waiver application. Additional guidance regarding home deliveries will be available soon. Next question, please go over the meal component requirements for the Seamless Summer program. Answer, meals served under Seamless Summer follow the National School Lunch Meal Pattern. Next question, how do we do our claims for Seamless Summer? Answer, individual sites will be available to you in My Idaho CMP. The sponsor will submit claims by site. A, count the meals as all free in area eligible sites. B, in non-area eligible sites, the SFA must count by name and eligibility. All free and reduced meals will be reimbursed at the federal free rate. Paid meal reimbursement guidance is pending from USDA. Next question, how do we determine calorie requirements for meals when we don't know if the student picking them up is an elementary, middle, or high school student? Answer, do your best to stay within the calorie guidelines. The Idaho State Department supports maximum flexibility and will be providing additional information soon regarding meal pattern flexibility. Next question, how do we determine meal component requirements for meals? I'm sorry, I already did that question. Okay, next question. We are currently running Seamless Summer, but when we come back, we will be operating under a soft close. Do we continue with Seamless or go back to National School Lunch? The answer is, this depends on whether the LEA defines themselves as open or closed. Please reach out to the state agency for further guidance. Next question, if we are a closed Seamless Summer site and there are families that lose a job, can they fill out a new free and reduced form so we can use the new status? Answer, new applications may be completed by households at any time. Next question, can school buses be used to make meal deliveries to bus stops? Must bus stops be in an area of high free and reduced eligibility? How are bus stops listed on the summer food application as a site? Answer, A, yes, you may serve meals at a bus stop on your current bus route. If you have an area eligible school, then all bus stops on the normal bus route for the school are qualified for reimbursement. B, if a school is not Area eligible, each individual stop on the route must be approved as eligible by the state agency. And C, when applying for summer food or seamless waiver, you must list the address of each stop. Sponsors need to group their bus stops into a claimable bus route. The sponsor must add each bus route as a claiming site in My Idaho CMP. Next question. What are the monitoring requirements for summer food sites during the COVID-19 crisis? Answer. Sponsors are responsible for the oversight of their program operations. Standard summer monitoring requirements still apply during the COVID-19 crisis. However, sponsors have the flexibility to conduct their first week monitoring visits once normal summer food operations begin. Next question. Are SFAs required to complete an ethnic racial data form during this special provision? Answer. This form must be completed prior to the end of the summer food operation. Next question. Are food service staff considered essential under the governor's shelter-in-place order? The answer is yes. The SDE appreciates and supports feeding Idaho children during these difficult times, even though it is not mandated by USDA, has indicated under question number 2 of the unanticipated closure Q&A on the governor website. Child nutrition staff are part of the educational system. The governor's guidance on educational institution states that these are essential functions. And from the information unveiled from the governor's office yesterday, it says educational institutions, including public and private K-12 schools, colleges, universities, for purposes of facilitating distant learning or performing essential functions, provided that social distancing of 6 feet per person is maintained to the greatest extent possible. Next question. Are sponsors operating under approved waiver required to continue providing meals to students even though the parents will be home? Answer. Please see answer to question number 2. Additionally, the governor's order states that schools and other entities that typically provide free food service to students or members of the public may continue to do so on the condition that the food is provided to the students or members of the public on a pickup or takeaway basis. Schools and other entities that provide food service under this exemption shall not permit the food to be eaten at the site where it is provided or at any gathering site. We have 2 more questions. Our school district has not participated in the summer lunch program for the past 2 years. We are providing distant learning beginning March 30th. I think we were supposed to use the National School Lunch Program if we provide a grab-and-go meals for students. Question, can we use summer or seamless summer program in that I think it allows us to provide meals to anybody in our community up to age 18 at no cost? The answer is, even if virtual learning is provided, if a building is closed and students cannot attend their physical school location for classes, SFAs and community organizations may operate summer food and seamless summer programs as permitted under program requirements. Summer food and seamless open sites must meet area eligible criteria. If an SFA is considering school to be in session and wishes to continue offering National School Lunch Program and the school breakfast during such building closures, the SFA may request an NSLP and a school breakfast waiver, which would allow schools to offer non-congregate meals when school buildings are closed, but children continue to attend classes online. If operating under National School Lunch, please note, only students enrolled in the school may participate, unlike summer food and seamless. Last question. Can we provide both a breakfast and lunch and deliver or allow pickup at the same time? Yes, you may serve up to 2 meals at one time. When applying for a waiver, you need to identify the pickup and delivery sites that you would like to approve. The additional requirements for home delivery will be outlined in the state agency guidance. So that is all the questions that we got ahead of time. I'm going to look in the system and see if we have gotten any additional questions. Just hold on one second here. I don't see any. Well, let me see. Just one second. There are some here. Just one second. Okay. First question. We are in an unprecedented time in Blaine. We have children that do not want to come out of their homes. May we drop them on the doorstep and still be in compliance? So I am going to let Dominique in our office go ahead and answer that one.
Thank you, Colleen. This question has been coming up quite a bit, and it looks like a lot of sponsors are looking to this for home delivery. Home delivery is an option. It is only an option for school food authorities because of the requirements associated with this meal service option. There are a few steps to being able to provide meal delivery, and we have a policy coming out to outline those steps, but essentially you have to, the first step, schools must obtain written consent from these households, and there are that they want to receive the meals. Then the schools have some eligibility requirements. They have to confirm the student's eligibility, and there are steps to do this. We don't want to spend a lot of time on that because we will be releasing it, but the short answer is you can initiate home delivery. It is a little more requirement intensive on the sponsor side, but we will have that information out shortly after this webinar today, I believe. Is that correct, Colleen?
That is correct, Dominique. Thank you. And it looks like one person lost audio, but they have received the audio back. So I'm glad to see that. I hope everyone else is being able to hear everything. The next question, children no longer need to be with adults, ? Can we take at face value that they are taking food home to students? It's a good question, and this is a flexibility that actually a lot of people across the nation have asked for. If you feel uncomfortable with that and you want to stay with making that stricter, you certainly can, but we have been informed of some fairly hardship situations where we feel that it might be in the best benefit. So we actually were happy to see this come through. But again, if you have a specific concern, please let us know and we can go from there. But just so everyone is aware, it is a nationwide waiver that has been, again, something that we as a state agency need to let USDA know that we are going to offer it. But if you don't want to at your particular site, then just let us know. Okay, the next question, if we deliver food on the bus, what type of record keeping is required? So Dominique, don't mean to pick on you, but will you go ahead and answer that one again, or for us?
Absolutely, thank you, Colleen. A lot of sponsors are opting to deliver meals via their established bus routes that are in their school districts. Under summer food program regulations, it's important to remember that each site, if you have, for example, one bus stop that is in an area eligible school, so all of the children attending that school are eligible for free and reduced, or the area itself is eligible, each stop on that bus route that the bus stops and meals are served are considered a separate site under SFSP regulations. So for one, sponsors would need to apply for each site or each stop on a bus route as an individual serving site, and paperwork must accompany each site stop. This is confusing. For example, bus number 1 has 7 stops on its route. That bus driver or whoever is taking those meal counts would need to have 7 different meal count sheet records to show for each stop they are checking off the number of meals that are served, and then they go to the next stop on that bus route, and a new meal count sheet is being taken with each meal being accounted for each stop on each bus route.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. So I want to ask the rest of the NSLP team if they have any more input, because I do know that Linda and the others have been approving several of these. So Linda or anyone else, do you have any more additional information from what Dominique gave?
No, we're following the summer food program requirements under Seamless Summer. So if they're doing bus stops, they have to follow the summer food program requirements.
Perfect. Thank you. So next question, can we start serving food on Monday, March 30th, if we haven't completed a waiver yet? And the same person also asked, how long does it take to have a waiver approved? So Linda, I'm going to give that one to you. And if it doesn't say what kind of program they're applying for, so I'm not sure exactly which staff member to give this to, but I'll start with Linda and we'll go from there because we want to make sure and give the person the support they need.
As we get them emailed to us, we really do try to get it done within 24 to 48 hours. So if you get it to us today, we will try to get your approval by tomorrow.
And so that should answer that person's question that if they want to start serving on March 30th, if they get us that waiver today, it looks like that would be a workable situation. So we hope that helps answer that question. Next question. Oh, I'm sorry, I already did that one. Colleen, where can we find the list of questions that you are reading? Very good question. And we will make sure that these are on the governor's website. I'm very much of a visual learner, and I'm just imagining if it was me hearing all this, I would not be catching it as well as I would want to. So we promise we will get all of this in writing to you before the close of business today. And you will be able to find that in 2 different ways. What we're going to do is we're going to put it on the governor's website, and we are also going to send the updated Q&A through our broadcast email system to all of our CMP sponsors. And I can see that the person that asked the question is one of our CMP sponsors, so you should get it through that broadcast, and we will send that to all program areas. Yes, and the next question was the same one. Will you be posting answers to these questions on the website? Absolutely, we will do that for you. Okay, the next question. Our district covers more than 50 miles. If we are unable or unwilling due to financial constraints to offer a meal option, will we be held accountable or penalized for not doing so? This is a tricky question, we know. Completely appreciate. I can see the district it's coming from, completely appreciate it. By USDA regulations, it is not required that you do this. You absolutely are not going to be penalized for not doing it. I do believe that the reason that there has been a real push for the bus stops and the home deliveries, things of that nature, is because of the very challenging things that this question brings up. And we so appreciate what you are saying. So if you want to consider the bus route or the home deliveries, we are more than happy to work with you on that. But you won't be penalized, to answer your question. Next question. In my Idaho CMP for my summer food application, can I list the bus routes as area of eligibility route, or must I list each stop individually? I heard something, but it was not clear to me for our specific summer food. So Dominique, will you take that one, please?
Absolutely. Great question, because this is happening a lot, and some sponsors have 80 bus stops. Short answer, yes. Each bus route We have to establish that every place that a meal is being proposed to be served is eligible, either by being in the attendance area of a school that is eligible based on enrollment, or using our census data to verify that is area eligible to be served. In your waiver application, what we're asking sponsors to do is you can say bus route 1, but if that bus is stopping at 10 places on that one bus route, we need a physical address of each of those stops along that one bus route's path, because we have to verify this information. That's our requirement. When it comes to claiming, that will be a different situation. You do not need to put 85 sites in your application packet, but we do need to have the name and address of every single stop a bus is going to make on a route.
Okay, thank you, Dominique. I am thinking that our next question has already been answered. I'll let the child nutrition staff see if they agree with me or not. The next question is, if we are not doing summer food, what is the requirement for bus stop deliveries? So I'm not sure what it means if they're not doing summer food. I don't know if that means that they are wanting to do seamless. Does anyone have an interpretation of what that question is?
Well, if they're doing seamless, they still have to follow the summer food regulations. If they're doing it through the National School Lunch Program, they can only deliver it to students who are enrolled. So not all children 1 to 18.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we are actually answering this question. So the person who submitted this, after the webinar, if you would like to contact us if we have not answered your question, please do so, because we do want to give you the support that you need. Okay, so the next, this is a comment, not a question. Thank you. We have been running our routes for 2 weeks now. Your guidance has been much appreciated. If anyone needs help things going, I am available. So that was Julia Scarsborough. And Julia, thank you so much for that comment. Again, we're putting together a best practices. So if you would please share those with Department of Ed, we would be happy to get those out to other people and you know, share the great things that are going on. And you know, anytime we unveil something new like this, when we've never been in this situation before, finding out what challenges others had and how they overcame those challenges is so beneficial. So thank you for your input. Next question, is the seamless summer application under the summer food tab or in the downloadable forms tab? I will let NSLP answer that. Since it's seamless.
Okay, the seamless summer and summer food waiver were both one document. You just had a check mark for seamless summer waiver.
Okay, so is that where they would get the application, Linda? So it says is the seamless application under the summer food tab.
If you're talking My Idaho CMP, it's under the National School Lunch Program.
Okay.
If you've applied for it, Melissa will set your sites up and you will see a new line under your sites. One is for NSLP and one is seamless summer.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, next question. I have local daycare centers asking for meals. Can they come to an approved feeding site and pick up multiple meals for their children without the kids being present? Great question. Anyone have a thought on that one? This waiver is very new for us.
Colleen, can you please read that question again?
Absolutely. And we might need additional guidance from USDA on this. I have local daycare centers asking for meals. Can they come to an approved feeding site and pick up multiple meals for their children without the kids being present? So I think what we might need to do in this case is ask, this nationwide waiver was just unveiled yesterday. And we don't want to give the incorrect information out and then have to come back and recorrect it. So let us go to USDA and get clarification on that, and we'll get back with you. I can see who it is that asked the question, so we'll get, but it's good for everyone. So we'll make sure and get the Q&A out to everyone. Okay, next question. When you have conversations with the feds, we would like to see more leniency with bus drivers delivering meals and paperwork. Definitely get it and understand, and we have really been in a lot of conversation with them on flexibility, and the superintendent has been actually in conversation with them too. And so completely appreciate what you're saying, and we will do that. Okay, next question. Are we allowed to run 2 different programs in the same district? Sites approved for open, and then other sites that do not fall under high need run NSLP and students that attend that school. If you do run NSLP at a site and siblings are brought that do not attend the site, how would that be handled? So who would like to take that one? Do you want me to read it again? It was kind of long.
I will answer the NSLP portion. First of all, I don't know if you can run 2 different programs concurrently. We may have to ask USDA that one.
Okay.
But if you're running NSLP program, you can only serve the children that are enrolled in your school. So it would be the same if you had a sibling show up at your school, you would charge them.
Okay. Okay. And you know this, and I'll have my staff correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I guess if I was out there, I would probably lean more towards, if I qualify, lean more towards the seamless or the summer food because of that restriction that Linda just said. Now, of course, that's if you qualify for one of those 2, but to me, that seems like that might be more beneficial. So if my staff disagrees with that, please let me know. Next question. Thank you. I am new and want to make sure I'm doing things correctly. I will contact you after the webinar. Completely, understand, and thank you for that. This has been a very stressful time, and this is just something that I've been in the business for years, and I've never, dealt with something so unique. So we are happy to have you call us and happy to help you. Next question. If operating summer food during this emergency closure time, are we still required to adhere to the summer food site review requirements? Okay, Dominique, this is yours.
Thank you. Summer food sponsor operators are required to run their programs according to regulations. However, there are flexibilities, and with site monitoring and first week site visits, because obviously we don't have the resources to do that at this time, I do expect you to monitor your program and operate your program according to regulations. However, monitoring requirements and first week site requirements, those are to be conducted during the operation of your summer food program operations, which means you are technically operating summer food now, but if you're operating summer food during the proposed summer season, this will all be one summer food program operation. So your monitoring and site visits can occur during regular operations of the summer food program.
Thank you, Dominique. That is good flexibility there, so I appreciate that. Okay, so the last comment or question we have here is thank you for all you're doing to help us. I appreciate your time and effort to put forth in our behalf. So thank you so much. And I did just have another question, and if you, so we still have some time here, so questions are still welcomed. The next question, and thank you for that nice comment. The team has just, I want to say, been working 14-hour plus days, and to get these waivers turned around and give you the guidance and honestly keeping up with USDA, because they've been changing things. Okay, well, next question appears right now to be the last, but we'll see. Hello, we are a new district. We submitted a waiver before spring break. We will, let me see, my computer keeps moving on me here because we're getting more questions. So, hello, we are a new district. We submitted a waiver before spring break. We will need to submit a new waiver for bus stop delivery. Can we have bus stop delivery in a school site for students who are close to us? Would you like me to reread that? Hello?
Please.
Okay. Hello, we are a new district. We submitted a waiver before spring break. I'm not sure when the spring break was for this particular person. We will need to submit a new waiver for bus stop delivery. Can we have bus stop delivery and a school site for students who are close to us? I think they're asking if they can do both there. So Dominique, if you'd like to take that one.
Yes, I guess the short answer is yes. Our flexibility that we're trying to encourage is allowing as many meals to be delivered and provided to students as possible under these programs. If you have a bus, any potential site that you want to serve meals at, just if it's notify the state agency, contact us. We can update already approved waivers to include this additional information, but just send us your proposed route, stops, and meal services, and we can approve them and discuss them with you on an individual basis. Is that?
Yeah, and I think Dominique is right there, because the thing is that we are getting so many unique situations that I think that what we need to do in some cases is just have kind of a one-on-one with you to see what is going on. But overall, what she said is great. But, if there's something very unique, then might need to talk with you about your specifics. So I've gotten quite a few more questions in, so that's wonderful. Next one, area eligibility is over 50% free and reduced lunch. Is that correct? And the answer to that is yes. So thank you for that question. Next is a comment. You're all awesome. Thank you for all you do. Well, we would say that back to all of you. You are all very wonderful, and thank you for your hard work in feeding all of the children. Next question, excuse me, any word on the waiver to allow sites under 50% for free and reduced operating summer food open sites? Unfortunately, we did find out earlier this week that there is not one state in the nation that has been approved on this waiver. So we have, our superintendent actually is helping us work on that right now to see how we can get that moved forward. Just know that we see that also as a great concern. Appreciate this question. Know that we are working very, very hard to see if that waiver can be approved. So I promise you, the second we hear, you will know about it. Next question. I'm concerned about our operating budget. Is there any emergency funding for CMP operating? Unfortunately, at this time, there is not. We did unveil a grant application under No Kid Hungry. I think it was within the last week. I did hear back from No Kid Hungry, and they got so many applications. I think they actually shut the form down because they didn't have any more money to give out. We also heard yesterday on the superintendent's webinar that people are actually wanting to donate money, but as far as USDA having additional emergency funding, there is none at this time. So I'm not going to say that that won't continue in the future, but none at this time. Next question, Colleen, will the April 1st data capture for CEP and direct cert, so I'm sorry, be de-allies to, I'm not sure I understand that word, to allow more households to apply for state assistance due to layoffs, thus allowing a higher possible direct cert for CEP claiming. I will let Linda address this one.
I was going to say, Linda, if you don't mind, I don't mind tackling this one.
Absolutely.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
So we actually, while we've been on this call, have just received guidance from USDA regarding April 1st data. And, you know, I know there's been a lot of directors who have reached out to me asking about the April 1st deadline. They have approved a nationwide waiver. You may use data anytime between April 1st and June 30th of this year. So I know obviously a lot of us you won't be at your schools, you won't be able to run your April 1st data. That's fine. But we will need to make sure that you do run your direct certification and everything prior to June 30th. And that is the data that we can use to calculate your ISP for CEP.
Well, Jessica, thank you for checking. I mean, that's a perfect example of how quickly things are coming in our office and how quickly they are changing. So I appreciate you keeping your eyeballs on the email while we're doing this. Okay, next question. If the need arises to add a meal or site during this, do we need to redo the whole waiver or just attachment A page? So, Linda, you want to take that one? Or whoever, I don't care who takes it.
Yeah, I'm allowing them to just do the attachment A for the addition.
Okay, perfect. We really want to make it as easy and as seamless as possible. Okay, next question. Can we list my Idaho CMP application for bus stops, the corner of blank street and blank street, or must it have an actual physical address? Who would like to take that one?
I'll take this one. You can do the corner of Main and 5th Street or whatever corner of that is. We can geomap corners of streets.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Next question. Our school district encompasses 3 different towns. The school itself has over 50% free and reduced lunch, but the other 2 towns, based on census data, is not over 50% free and reduced lunch. Is the school still area eligible for the Seamless Summer Program? Who would like to take that?
If it's in the area of the school, they're qualified.
Okay. And I would agree with Linda. And if there's more to that question than what we are than how we're interpreting that, please let us know. You know, give us, I already see a couple of emails coming through my system here. So happy to help you if we didn't capture everything within that question. Okay, next one is, thank you, Dominique. To clarify on the site monitoring and review flexibility would be, if a district normally participates in summer meals, I understand the flexibility for normal sites that will participate later during summer. But what if they have a couple of schools operating summer additionally now during the COVID that will not operate during the normal summer meals, even though they qualify? Do those site reviews have to be completed now since they will not operate later? It's a great question. I'm not sure if we know the answer, but Dominique, do we know the answer to that one?
We don't know the answer to that. Again, because this is so new for everyone. Obviously, we want to do our best to monitor our sites to see how they are operating, but we do not have clear guidance on this instance.
So we're certainly not saying don't follow the regulations, but we also want everyone to know that we're pushing for flexibility too. And so once we get more guidance from USDA on these, we've been able to answer most of the questions, but the few that we cannot, once we do get guidance, we will certainly make sure and get that to you. And again, how that will go out is it will go on the governor's website and the broadcast email. So next question, we have 10 minutes left. Do we need to go into our summer food application and have all stops written there, or are they only needed on the waiver? I think we said they needed to, what was the answer?
Okay. The way we're working it is all stops need to be on Exhibit A, but I believe Melissa would set it up as bus route 25. And that's how you would claim, is per bus route. We're not going to put all addresses in My Idaho CMP for claiming.
Yeah, and to add to what Linda is saying, we had a big discussion with the CMP staff yesterday, trying to figure out how we could make it as easy and seamless for you. And so, you know, what Linda just said is exactly the direction we want to go to make it easier for everyone. But when we get closer to the reimbursement time, which of course will be coming soon, we'll make sure and give more specific guidance as needed. Okay, next question. Do we need to apply for a waiver in regards to the children being present to receive a meal? I do believe we need them to tell us, but not fill out a waiver. Is that correct, team?
Hey, Colleen, I'll take this one because I did update the guidance on this.
Sure.
This is TJ, for those of you that don't know my voice. The waiver was very specific in that our current obligation as a state agency is there is no approval process per se, but we need to work with the program operators, because essentially what was mandated is that we must have a plan in place to ensure that program operators are able to maintain accountability and program integrity. So what that looks like at this point, we literally just got this last night, and I don't think we've had an opportunity to define what that looks like. So again, like Colleen has been saying, additional guidance will come out so that we can work with program operators and define what we expect to see in terms of those meals.
Thank you, TJ. Okay, next question. Our high school is eligible based on area eligibility of an elementary closed by 50%. It is an open site under summer food. Would that qualify our entire district for area eligibility as all of our elementaries funnel up to the high school? It's a good question. So who would like to tackle that one?
I can take that one, Colleen. This is Dominique. If your middle school is eligible, it has 50% or higher free and reduced rate, and every elementary school feeds into that or is in the attendance boundary zone of that middle school, they would all be qualified as area eligible and for open meal service.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Can an adult, not a parent, pick up food for children? Again, I think we need additional clarification from USDA. This waiver is just not even 24 hours old. I don't know how they would know, though, if it was a parent or an adult. I don't think we're taking any sort of ID or anything, if I am correct with that. But let us get back with you for more info. Does anybody have any more to add on that one? Okay, next question. Individual bus stops, okay, question mark. I believe the answer to that is yes. I think that Dominique has answered that. Is there maybe something more that the team can think of that they could add in that area? Okay, I had someone just send me an email on a question, so I'm going to put that out there. Can we condense bus stops, or do we have to use original routes? I don't think they have to be bus routes that are already there. Can't they do what is best for them, or are they having to do bus routes that are already established?
Colleen, this is Jessica. We've been requesting folks just to use established bus routes. One of the problems we've been running into is folks will submit their waiver and include home addresses as a bus stop. So that is why we've just been asking folks to give us what their current established bus stop is and not add additional stops.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, so I believe that that is all of the questions we have, but I did have an email that someone just asked if I could share where the governor's website is. So I'm going to drive the computer here and show you how to get there. It's very easy. The Idaho State Department of Ed front website. Has everyone seen that? Panelists, can you see that, what I just changed to?
Yes, you're good, Colleen.
Okay, so when you go to the Idaho State Department of Ed website, you can see right here that the coronavirus website for the governor, just click into that from the Idaho State Department. They just revamped this website, and to make it easier, it goes directly into where the school information is at. And then you can, so let me kind of go backwards again. You go to the Idaho State Department of Ed website, click that link. It takes you to the school area, and here you can see child nutrition. So if you open child nutrition, you can see we have our feeding site locator, and then everything that we are sharing with you, we will make sure and get on this website. So for those of you that are interested in seeing what the governor's, I want to show you, if you are interested in what the governor said yesterday and everything there, you can go, when you go into the school area that I just showed you, just click the home page and it will show you the statewide stay home order that has been put into effect. And so I hope that that is helpful for you. I think that that is it. Now, just as a reminder, we are going to have these webinars at least for the next 5 weeks. We had a series of 6. Today's the first one, and the next 5. If we need to go beyond that, we are more than happy to do that. Again, thank you so much for all of your work. I mean, we just are hearing stories of how hard working, different things you're doing, the success stories that you're having. So we're here for you, either email or phone call. And I believe Jessica will probably put out another document for questions for next week, since things are just changing so quickly. We do know that there will probably be a whole new set of questions then. So I'm just going to hurry and look quickly to make sure that I didn't miss any questions here before we hang up. Nope, that is it. Someone said thank you for all your dedication and guidance that we may feed our kids. And we thank all of you folks. So that will be the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for the questions. I hope we all learned from each other. And we will talk with you either throughout the week or next week. Thank you, everyone.